everybody, Matt Brown, and we're going to do Tearjerker by the Chili Peppers in this one. So this one's fairly short and simple. Not a lot to talk about, but we'll get into it and hit all the details. So like we always do, we're going to look at the chord progression and what he's doing underneath rhythmically, and then look at the solo. So the chord progression, I'll just use some random voicings to explain what's going on, and then I'll get into the details. So the progression is D, and then D/C sharp, then G to A. So we're in the key of D here, and then we go back to D, and then we do our D/C sharp again. And then we're going to have a B minor chord. And that is held for a full measure. So 2 beats, 2 beats, 2 beats, 2 beats. So everything's 2 beats except for that last B minor chord. Alright, now let's look at the actual rhythm figure that he plays on the recording. Alright, so that's it there at tempo. I'll play it slowly. Alright, so first measure, so we're playing out of this D chord shape and then doing a pull off in there from that sus4. And then our next chord is that, I know that just looks like a bunch of randomness with my left hand, but it's, I'm going to call this a D sus2/C sharp. So it's 4, 2, 3, open. So it just arpeggiates that. Then we're going to go to our, quote, rock G. And then that gets slid up 2 frets for the A chord. So that much so far. Okay, then this. So we're going to do 2 pull-offs this time. With the pinky. Then this lick. So E, A, B. And then we're coming to our B minor chord. And then we do this. So he embellishes it with a B sus2, 4. Then we come to a D5 power chord, and then G, then this. Sorry, that's... So, pull off, arpeggio, chord. So I'll put the metronome back on, play it again. One, 2, ready, go. Rest. Alright, so yeah. Really cool guitar playing, kind of Hendrixy, but kind of unique, and it's almost like Hendrix and Jimmy Page had a baby. That's, I guess, Dave Navarro in a nutshell. Alright, so now let's go back over to the solo and talk about what's going on there. So it starts with like a little lead in from the end of a verse. He's doing these double stops that imply an A chord to a B flat chord, your 5 and flat 6 chords, and it goes. Alright, and so then the next time that little progression happens, he goes to in like that, so that's a D octave shape. And when the octave shape hits, there's going to be some delay that we're going to need for this solo, so that's when I turn it on, because we're going to need to turn on another effect next. And then we get this. It goes to that, like an E octave with overdrive turned on. So to give you some context, we have. And then we're into it. So I'll play that. So it's just using octave shapes with the D major scale over this chord progression and creating some cool melodies. So I'll just play the octave section, or the lead in into the octave section. So we have this. So when I'm learning something like this, it's a melody, right? That's all it is. And it's a good melody. So melodies that are good should be singable in your head. So that's always kind of what I'm doing. I'm not paying attention to, you know, or memorizing where I need to put my fingers. I'm thinking about the melody in my head and then kind of like singing it on guitar, if that makes sense. But with my hands, I suppose you could say. So that's how I go about playing stuff like this and memorizing it. Just, you know, get it till you can sing it in your head. Alright, so then what happens is some major pentatonic licks. So what we have is, that's 9 and 10 there, and then he's doing hammer-on and pull-off, and then coming down to this box of it, and doing like a double stop type thing. So then some D major scale stuff. So that's that part. And then what he does is real cool. It's like a bluesy sounding type thing. He's playing D minor pentatonic over the key of D major to give a bluesy sound. It goes like that. So it's a pre-bend and release to a pull-off. And then there's this type deal. And then our pentatonic kind of cliche idea. And then bend up to tonic. So all together it's Alright, so that's it for that solo. I am Matt Brown. Let me know if you have any questions or anything like that. Just quickly about tone and the pedals that I'm using. For overdrive, I like the Boss Super Overdrive. So that's what I've got going on here. And then I really just like the Boss pedals. So I have the Boss digital delay as well. So those two pedals are what I'm using. Ace Boogie Mark V, Paul Reed Smith. On the recording, he's definitely playing through a Strat, or playing a Strat. So yeah, sounds like maybe Texas Special type pickups or something similar like that. Some pretty high output, but relatively low noise. So yeah, I'm Matt Brown, and I'll see you guys around. Let me know if you have questions.